All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode of the Player B podcast. We're excited to get this going. My name is Marcus Mercer, aka Punch Out Golf on Instagram, and I'm joined here by Rob Blevins. Rob, how are we doing?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Excited to get this going. We've kind of talked about doing this for a little while, and our text messages are just filled with golf talk. So we figured we might as well get it out here on a podcast. So.
Yeah. It'll help me be a little bit more productive at work instead of just texting you during work hours. I can actually talk about it on a podcast for sure.
Well, and we figured this. Well, I guess we can talk about this later. But we end up recapping our Thursday night men's league rounds anyway via text. So maybe this will give us a better outlet for doing that. But
for sure.
But yeah, we thought this podcast would be a fun way to just talk about golf for a couple of regular guys here in Columbus, Ohio. Just talk about golf, watch golf, consume golf on the internet. So we thought this would be fun. But I guess we should properly introduce ourselves and give you a little bit of information about who we are and what we're doing. So Rob, I don't know if you want to take that away and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
For sure, Marcus. My name is Rob Blevins. Like Marcus has said, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Club Twirl Ohio. Pretty new to it, so bear with the spaced out posts. But a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Oxford, Ohio, which is like 45 minutes north of Cincinnati. My history in golf, I went to Talawanda, played on the golf team in high school, started in sixth grade. Then just kind of played. Wasn't very good in high school. I think it was pretty much if you showed up to tryouts and you get the ball airborne, you were on the team. And then went to Miami University, played on that team, but not the main campus. I went to one of the branch campuses where it's pretty much it was a little bit more laid back than the actual main campus team. So we would still go on trips. We play other branch campuses within the Central Ohio area, like Ohio State, Newark, OU, Chillicothe. We would just play other branch campuses. Played on that team for 3 years. I was a phys ed major at Miami, and it's a pretty tough major. So it took me 5 years to get my degree. So 3 of the 5, I was playing golf down at a branch campus. Always kind of I played baseball growing up, a lot of other sports, baseball, basketball, and then tried my hand at football. And as you can tell, I'm not a huge guy. So got laid out first practice and was like, this isn't for me. I gotta go to a non-contact sport. Worked out though. Cause then after school, got into the golf business, worked at a club in Mason, Ohio for a few years. We can kind of get to that later if it so goes down that path. Worked down there for 3 years and then moved up to Columbus, Ohio at a club, and here worked as a first assistant golf pro for like 3 years. And then got out. Now I'm selling insurance, but throughout the whole thing, it's been golf. One joke with being in the golf business is if you like golf, don't ever get into the business because you never play. I always would joke and say, if you're like a bartender and you have a day off, the last thing you want to do is go sit on the other side of that bar.
Yeah.
And that's how it was with golf. Like in my 7 years I was in the golf business, my game just went like down because I would like, should I go hit some balls? I'm like, no, I'm just going to leave instead. Day off. I'm like,
out of there.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to practice. So that's kind of the quick intro behind the man, the myth, the legend, me.
Yeah. Well, I thought one of the reasons I thought this would be a good idea or something cool that we could do is that we're kind of coming at it from two different angles. So, you played some competitive golf in high school and college and worked in the golf industry. And I'm just a dude that loves to play golf and watch golf and all that good stuff. But my background, I played sports growing up, played baseball, football, all that good stuff, and played baseball in college here at Capital University in Columbus. And, once I was done with baseball in college, I've moved around and had jobs in different areas of the country and things like that. But the one thing that if I didn't know people in that part of town or whatever, I could always just go out to the golf course and play some golf. So
For sure.
I would always find a course. I would always find a place to play, and meet a lot of people on the golf course that you're seeing it, each week and things like that. But I've worked in collegiate athletics most of my life, and now work for a small sports marketing company that does road races and things like that. And I'm fortunate enough to work with some people that love to play golf, and grew up with a dad that taught me the game and loves playing golf just as much as I do. So pretty fortunate in that aspect. But as I've gotten out of competitive sports and out of working in collegiate athletics, it takes up all your time. Golf has always been kind of a hobby, and started an Instagram page last year that I'm having a lot of fun with, just taking pictures of courses and showing people my ugly swing on Instagram and just
kind of on the wrong side of the ball. So
I guess that's one thing I didn't mention is I play from the wrong side. I'm a lefty, so everybody likes to comment about that the first time I play with them. So but it's a lot of fun. So you mentioned, I think back to when we first met, and I found out you worked in golf and things like that. And I was like, I got to talk to him. And then you mentioned you're a phys ed major. And I was like, well, we're bound to be friends. Cause I was a phys ed major in undergrad and all that good stuff. But I guess one of the things that I thought was kind of cool, and I mentioned earlier, is we'll kind of recap weekly maybe, is we're partners in Thursday Night Men's League, and we're defending champions coming back here in 2021. Sure. So we got some work to do here.
I was gonna say, it was our first year in the league, and came in guns a-blazing, win the whole thing. It was good.
Well, yeah, it helps when we got a player of your ability on the team to carry me. Most of those text message conversations that I talked about earlier, post round on Thursday nights, were me apologizing and
before we get out of the parking lot,
saying I'm going to carry my weight next week. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's one of the things we'll want to talk about here on the podcast. But there's a number of different ways we can go with this, and there's never a lack of golf content to talk about, especially now on YouTube and podcasts and the internet. It's not just professional golf that you're watching. We both watch a lot of YouTube videos and things like that, so we'll talk about that. But one of the things I want to kind of pick your brain on was you invited me on a golf trip last year, and you're organizing your own this year. I guess you organized it last year too, but you kind of taking this trip under your own wing here. And how did that all come about? And looks like we're going to some Dayton area courses here in Ohio, but what's the plan with that, and what are we looking at for this year?
Yeah. So like you had said, last year, I kind of took the reins over from an individual who the year prior invited me. So 2 years ago was my first year with a group of guys. And then, so last year, the trip you're talking about, it was just kind of, everyone wanted to be a little bit more centrally located. So I scheduled a place out at Virtues. They built the new cabins up, which was awesome. We got to stay in those. But it was more so like I lived in the area. Everyone kind of agreed, hey, let's do Central Ohio. And I was kind of the default, hey, you're our eyes in the sky. Where should we go play in Central Ohio? And obviously Virtues is a great spot to play. And then once they had those cabins, it was kind of a no-brainer. Having 16 guys there, that was a fun trip. This year, I guess we are in 2021, so yeah, it is this year. Yeah. One of the other guys that was on the trip last year is from the Dayton area, and so I kind of passed the torch on to him. Where, okay, you're the local guy in Dayton. Can you get some of your coworkers or guys that you play golf with and round up 16 guys and play some tracks? And he's like, yeah, we got some courses that are close by, good deals. So he's kind of doing the legwork from a logistic standpoint. So like hotels that are nearby, courses we can play. And then, he's going to handle, the format, who's on what team, things of that nature. Cause I think I've showed you the spreadsheet, or at least told you and a couple other guys that are going. We got like 14, 15 confirmed. And of those, I know 6 or 7 of the guys. So it's kind of like last year where it was, some new guys, new faces, but I mean, some familiar faces too. I mean, you're going to know some of the guys. Tommy Boy's coming again, which will always be fun.
I'm sure he'll get referenced on this podcast more than. I
was going to say he may have to be a guest at some point.
We'll get him on here. But yeah, last year was a lot of fun. It was the first year I'd been on the trip or whatever. And for anybody that's in Ohio, Virtues is, as good as it gets as far as public courses anyway. And my Instagram feed has been filled with pictures of Virtues just because it's so good, and can't wait to get back there this year. So
it's a course you can definitely play all the time and like never get sick. There's some courses where you're just like, all right, pin's always going to be on this side, tees are always going to be here. You hit it here and you hit it here. It's like Virtues is just, I mean, we played a ton out there, and I don't think I had the same iron into a green or same putt. It was just, it's a fun track to play.
It's so funny because up until we went out there, the Friday 2 weeks before, and played a couple quote unquote practice rounds. And we played 36 that day. And then we played 3 rounds a couple weeks later. So I'd played 5 rounds within 3 or 4 weeks out there. And I hadn't played there in probably 3 or 4 years before that. So it was
locker by the end of it. Yeah. You're like, hey,
nobody my name. No, it was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this year too, because these are courses that I've never played. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
because like you said, you have that I'm going to butcher the name. Is it Penn Trail, Ohio, or just Penn, Ohio?
Penn, Ohio. So that the Penn Ohio Golf Trail is something. The folks over there at the Penn Ohio Golf Trail reached out, and Ohio Johnny on Instagram actually gave him my Instagram name. So shout out Ohio Johnny. He is an awesome follow on Instagram for anybody that loves golf. He is the staff photographer for Callaway, but he's a Cleveland guy. So he plays all the Cleveland courses and takes some.
I was saying Cleveland courses, not Cleveland clubs, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. Good clarification. Yeah. But he plays a lot of the Northeast Ohio area courses. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He actually caught my eye. He had some photos in. I don't know if it's Golf Digest now. I can't remember off the top of my head, but of a course in my hometown called the Quarry, and it was made some national publications, and people were sharing it all over the world, which is awesome to see. But so I started following him, and we just started interacting. And with, I guess, the short end of the story is Penn Ohio Golf Trail. With all the COVID stuff that's going on, they are not going to a lot of the golf shows and promoting their stay and play packages and golf courses and things like that. So they're reaching out to some folks on social media for some help with that. And, they're taking care of some golf for us and to go out and play some of these courses in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania and things like that. And just, promote them, share them on social media and things like that, which I think is going to be awesome, because there are some courses that they work with that I've had on my list to play for a while, like Fowler's Mill and a bunch of courses up in, Canton area. And actually Virtues just got added to their, I guess, portfolio of courses. So I'm pretty pumped about that they have a Central Ohio course in there as well. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. Be plenty of golf being played here in the spring and summer. My wife already said, she's like, I'm not going to see you on the weekends, am I? So, but no, we're looking forward.
She's got all the books to read. So
yeah, no kidding. Well, anybody that gets to know her knows that she loves to read. So yeah, we're looking forward to that here in 2021 as well. So
what would be quicker? I got a question. Would you be able to finish a round of golf before she could finish a book, start to finish? What would be faster?
Man, that is a great question. I've never even thought about that.
Because she rips through them, and
she does.
Not much of a reader. So if it's not sports related, I'm usually like nodding out on like the 10th page, and then I have to reread. So I'm like, she can plow through it pretty quick. So I'm like, if you get a foursome on a busy day, so let's say 5 hours.
Yeah. Well, if you're playing some of the local Columbus public courses, you may be pushing 6 hours. So, That is a great question. I've never thought about that. I've seen her finish a book in a day, so um, I bet she could beat me if she really put her mind to it and it was a shorter book. But
Yeah.
maybe we'll have to try that. Maybe that could be a great challenge here
Yeah.
coming
Just
up.
text her and be like, all right, all's in the air on one, go. And then just see.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that idea. So yeah, lots of golf plans for 2021 coming up here. Some of the other things I guess I thought we could talk about, or I guess just some goals that we've texted back and forth about some of the things that we want to try and do or accomplish here in 2021. And I don't know if you want to share yours first or talk about some of yours first, but maybe if you take the lead there.
Yeah. So kind of watching the transformation that Bryson made with just adding the weight, adding the swing speed. I ran it by my wife if I could gain 40, 50 pounds, and she wasn't for it. So I had to figure out.
You got to invest in some Orgain stock and then, have a pallet dropped off at the front door.
Right. I'm like, hey, Lauren, can I please gain 40 to 50 pounds for the betterment of my golf game? That got which is fine. I understand. But
could be a lot of fun though. You eat all the pizza you want,
Right. I was gonna say, you got to put on the LBs and we're good. Doesn't really matter how I get it. And then we can mold the fat into muscle if that needs to be, but it's got to be on the frame first.
Love it.
But I got a company called, I think it's like Speed Sticks. Yeah, Speed Sticks. Yeah. It's basically like weighted clubs. They got little weights at the end of the club, and they have different workout regimens to increase swing speed. Just kind of biomechanics, different like step drills. You swing right and left-handed, so you're not, messing up one side of your body. So the goal is to basically pick up some swing speed with the driver, hit it a little further. Because I would say my strong suit is not necessarily length, but like I'm not going to spray it. Like I'm going to be here, not like I'm not going to be like he kills it. So I want to pick up some miles per hour on that. So the goal is to kind of, I think right now the driver speed is around like 105. I mean, this is January, cold, not really doing a ton of it. 105, 106 with a driver. I'd like to get, when we tee it up in league, like 110, 112. So that's tough just because where we live in, the apartment we live in, the ceilings are pretty tall. Like I can practice the chipping, but when it comes to swinging those speed sticks, I don't know how quick we're going to lose that deposit. So, either that or I'll start swinging like Kuchar and just be super flat. And so I don't really practice as much as I should.
Just make sure you tip your caddies better than he does. But
right, exactly. And then, so that's going to be a tough one, but that's a goal. I have the orange whip too that I use like just to kind of loosen up, but I think theoretically that's supposed to be a speed trainer, but I don't really do any. I just swing that a few times before league and then hit it. The tougher one I think is going to be my handicap index, and that one's going to be rough because my goal is pretty lofted for what it is right now. It's a 0.6 index, and I want to see a plus sign next to it. I want to get a +1, and that's going to be rough because that means I have to play, and when I play well. Because I mean, 0.6 is good, but I think I was like a plus 0.3 for a little bit over the summer, and then some of my league scores started going on there, and it came up slightly. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to work on. But when you're trying to get that, it's just like small margins, if I was like, hey, this is the second year I ever played golf. Obviously, just like if you're like working out, like you're gonna see gains quicker, and then now you're kind of like plateauing where like it's just like short game stuff at this point. Maybe and that's kind of why I went back to the swing. Gain if I'm hitting, wedge instead of 8-iron or something like that. Could that get me a little closer to the hole? We'll see. But then the last one is clean up the putting. As Marcus has seen in many of league, it's a lot of wow, can't believe it went that way, or 3 wiggles, or praying that someone goes, that's good, and slaps it back to me because the putting is a little atrocious. 5 feet, I don't have much I don't have much confidence in the old flat stick. So
One of these days when we do a podcast on a review podcast of virtues, we'll share the story of your par that you made on the
yeah.
on the par 5 number 11 or 10 out there, I guess. I'm sorry.
We can't tell it on episode 1. That's like throwing Hail Mary first play of the game. We can't.
We'll save that one. We'll put that one in the can for later. But it's a great story. So
yeah,
no, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah. What about you? What are your goals? What do you want to do? What are you trying to improve on?
So I have one playing goal, I guess, and it's similar to yours with the handicap. I've never been a big handicap guy. Just I started keeping one pretty seriously last summer, just as I got more into golf. But I finished the year at 7.5. So I want to get that to a 5, just for no other reason than I know I'm improving my game. I know that the joke is that always gets you in the territory of you're never going to win matches because you're good enough to play well, but you're not getting enough strokes to win matches and things like that. But I don't know. I just want to improve on my overall play. We bought a house this year, so I bought a net, and I've been hitting a bunch of balls in my garage, which probably annoys the neighbors and everything, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I just want to get more consistent. Bought a new driver this year, got a new putter. So I made some equipment changes and just trying to hone that in. Like you, putting is always something that I can improve on. I think everybody can always improve on putting, but it's one thing that I think will help me shave strokes probably the quickest is my putting. So
for sure,
that's definitely something. But a lot of my other goals are more or less related to, like, I set a goal last year when I started Instagram account to play in all 50 states. So I want to do that, and I've knocked out a handful last year, and have plans to knock out at least one more. I guess we can save that for another podcast as well. But coming up here, taking a road trip for the wife's birthday, and we'll knock out another state. But I want to keep. I've had a lot of fun with Punch Out Golf on Instagram. Met so many cool people. Golf Instagram is like the most positive place in the world, it seems like. So everybody has been awesome, and I want to meet some of these folks and play some golf with them. There's a lot of people here in Columbus and Northeast Ohio that I've interacted with, a lot that are going to be working on the Penn Ohio Golf Trail at the same time. So want to meet some of those folks and just travel, play more courses, knock out some more states on that list, and just meet some new people. And then I guess the last one I had was just kind of get this podcast in our way. It's something we've kind of talked about and joked about. And I think, taking the first step and knocking one out tonight, you
just kind of have to take the lead.
Yeah. So I think we're going to use this podcast to just take our text message conversations and just move them into something we can share with everybody else, and recap our golf, where we're talking about where we're playing coming up, any plans we have for trips, and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, my wife gets pretty tired of me coming home from league on Thursday nights and telling her about my round and how we did. So the podcast will probably be another good outlet to let because I'm sure there's 100%. Everybody that know how our 9-hole league at Derby went.
So that I guess that we never did say where we're playing. So our league is at Darby Creek here in Columbus, Ohio. So anybody that's in Ohio, Darby is a great public course up near Marysville. So anybody that gets a chance to check it out, I will say there are some holes out there that have our number, and we have to fix that this year. For sure. The gosh, what is it? The 16th hole out there has destroyed my rounds more than any hole.
Backwards, 16.
Dog leg right over the pond. I end up is that 16?
That's 8 on the front, right?
Man, I got to go back and look at a scorecard now. Anyway, it is.
Yeah, it is. Because then 9 is the one that goes the dog leg left back up towards the clubhouse.
Yeah, you're right. I
Yep. So
I
you're
got it
8.
all
Yeah.
backwards. But we'll fix that this year.
Yeah.
We'll I haven't figured out a right way to play that hole because if you carry the dog leg, you're going over the water, which I inevitably hit it into. If I lay up and hit a 3 or 5 wood, I end up in the crap to the left, and it doesn't work. So
There's
we'll-
nothing
we'll
more
get it.
frustrating than trying to play it safe and then it's just a compound of
Just-
errors.
just
I could
screwing
have with the
yourself.
driver.
Yeah, just screwing yourself over even further. So anyway, Darby Creek is a lot of fun to play. There's
Yeah,
some
great track.
some good holes out there that make things interesting, especially on the backside. So you'll hear all about it. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I figure this is probably a good spot to wrap this one up here. We can kind of pick it up next time. We're going to try and do this, I don't know, every week or so. We'll keep it going as much as we can, and we'll get some good guests on here. I think there's a lot of good people, like I said, that met through Instagram and things like that would love to come on and chat golf. And like I said, we'll get Tommy Boy on here. We'll feed him a couple greenskeepers and we'll turn him loose.
Yeah, when he is a guest speaker, he'll probably be like right here next to me on the couch because he'll just be and just be like, "Hey, yeah, I'll come over." So that'll probably be fun.
Exactly. Well, I think this is a good start. We'll pick it up next time. But I appreciate it, Rob, and I can't wait till it's January now. I can't wait till we're actually playing golf and have some golf to talk about. So.
Yeah, hopefully we avoid any last-minute snowstorms because we've kind of dodged some bullets, so we haven't had anything too crazy in Central Ohio. So if we can get through like mid-February, late February, hopefully we're good. That brings some snow or some golfing in March time. So we'll see.
No playing in blizzards on St. Patty's Day this year like you did last year.
Speaking of Tommy Boy, he was like, "We doing that again this year?" I'm like, "Man, it snowed last year." I was like, we played in at least a quarter an inch of snow out at Virtues, so it was well worth it.
Worth it. So.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. Well, we'll pick this up again next time. I appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. I'll be here.